If you like these videos, shop at KendoStar. There, try and skip that. Told you I was going to do that every week. Hi folks, welcome to Kendo Rant. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We've got some fantastic questions for you today. Not too many, so it should be quite a short, compact video, but you never know. I do like to ramble on, as you know. As I already mentioned, don't forget to support the channel by shopping at KendoStar. Don't be skipping this bit now. Don't be skipping this bit. There's important stuff to be said. Shop at KendoStar, like, share, subscribe, all that sort of nonsense. But most importantly, I've been thinking a lot about how you can help me make Kendo more popular around the world. I know it's a difficult time at the minute. If you're watching this later on, I'm filming this in the beginning of February in 2021, so the world's still in a bit of a messed up place. And hopefully, if you are watching this in the future, it's a lot better. But anyway, you can help me get Kendo more popular. All you have to do is see in the comments down below. You just have to go in there and write a comment on the video and say, nice Kendo video, or this is a great Kendo video, or any other positive comment that says the word Kendo. The reason for that is because it'll help the algorithm on YouTube or whatever you're watching this on, and anyone that searches for Kendo might see this video, and you'd be surprised how many people find the videos that I put out and similar ones like it, and actually start Kendo from there. So you can do your little bit by not only helping me make this channel more popular, but also also helping new people find Kendo as well. And if you found this video having not done any Kendo at all, make sure you go and watch my video about 5 things you need to know about Kendo before you start, and everything else. Right, okay, that's enough of that stuff. Let's get into these questions. Okay, first question. I hope this isn't too personal, but do you want to become 8th Dan? And in more general, do you think that it's something that all Kenshi should aim, even if it never happened? Thank you. Well, that's a good question. I don't think it's too personal. No. Yeah, of course I want to become 8th Dan, and I will keep working towards it, and I will challenge for it. Whether I'll be able to achieve it, I don't know. It's not really the point. But of course, you know, I want to, and I'll try my hardest to be able to. As to whether all Kenshi should aim for it, it's a bit of a difficult one, because as I've said before, I do think that grading is an important part of the Kendo experience, and I don't think that you can properly progress in Kendo without attempting gradings, and I don't think that means passing the gradings. So not everyone will have the opportunity to try for 8th Dan. Most people won't. I hope I do. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know if I can say that everyone should try and be 8th Dan, because, you know, everybody should. I'd rather say, instead of saying everyone should try and be 8th Dan, everybody should aim to take the next one. All right. So if you're Shodan, if you're 1st Dan, then you should try to get 2nd Dan. And if you're 2nd Dan, you should try to get 3rd Dan. Okay. And of course, if you're 7th Dan, you should be working towards trying to get 8th Dan. I think. At least that's what I think at the moment. Next one. When in your Kendo career did you first come to the realization that Kendo is about so much more than fencing with bamboo sticks in protective gear? Well, that's a good question. Because it's not something I guess I came to realize. Like, it's not like I just woke up and had a eureka moment over it. I guess I kind of came to come to think that way over a long time. But if I compare about how I think about Kendo now to how I thought about it when I was in my 20s, of course, it's very different. I was wrong when I was in my 20s. And probably my 20-year-old self would say that, you know, now I'm wrong, or people that think like I am wrong. But I was, you know, and probably, you know, in 10 years' time, I might look back at this and think, yeah, you're wrong about it again. But in terms of, I can't really pinpoint an exact moment where it was like, oh yeah, it's not just sword fighting, because that was quite early on for most of us, right? But at the same time, when I realized that it's not, that it's a lot deeper, and that a lot of the stuff that I was hearing senseis talk about, the kind of deeper concepts, I kind of, in my younger days, I was so arrogant as to think that they were kind of just there to kind of entertain people that were into that sort of thing. But I came to sort of understand more, like I say, over the, obviously after moving to Japan, that changed things a lot. And I think the biggest thing that probably changed the way I thought about Kendo was when I started to teach kids Kendo in Japan. And I was not just doing Kendo for my own benefit anymore, but also I was involved in the advancement of others, and how Kendo is part of an educational process rather than a pastime or something done for fun, by most kids in Japan. So, and that I was playing an active role in that was important. So yeah, I guess that was a big part of it as well. And obviously, growing up in general, like outside of Kendo, becoming an adult, obviously changed things too. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's a specific point, but if I'd been more sensible, less arrogant, and more considerate when I was younger, then probably I'd have been, I'd have probably had a more successful competitive career, for example. But because I was approaching it, especially during the younger years of it's a real paradox, because when you're young, you're fast and you've got energy, but you don't get it. You don't get the important stuff. And then as you get older, then obviously you're not as fast and you can't keep up with the younger lot quite as much, but you understand the concepts more, which are more important, and that's difficult to balance as a competitor, definitely. But to think that, especially when you have a background like I did, where I didn't come to Kendo till later in life. If you start Kendo when you're very young, like a child, that's different. But I didn't start until I was an adult. So, yeah. Anyway, rambling now. Do you know what the reason is this year's All Japan? Sorry, I'll start that again because I'm not good at words. Do you know what is the reason? In this year's All Japan Championships, none of the police teams are taking part. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. Right. I don't know this for certain because I haven't been told it directly, but I've been told it indirectly, and it's pretty much common knowledge, and it's pretty obvious if you think about what's been different about the situation with Kendo over the last 12 months. Without, it's the pandemic. Frankly, the police in Japan they haven't returned to Kendo. So they, the police aren't really doing Kendo at the moment in Japan, and haven't for the last year. Not properly anyway. So yeah, that's why they haven't participated. Next one, for people with low ceilings and frigid outside temperatures, what do you recommend as a replacement for shinai when practicing suburi indoors? I use a 2 kilogram dumbbell to the best of my ability, but I feel like the added weight will aid training. But are there other common household things easy to get a hold of that you can use in place of a shinai for such a situation? So I'll link to this on the comments. We've got a short suburi shinai on KendoStar. This is mine, so it's a bit worn and it's got my name written on it and stuff. And you don't have to use it with a tsuba. I just like to, because it reminds me of doing Kendo in the dojo. But it's much shorter. It's got a quite decent weight. It's a bit heavier than an actual shinai, but the balance is pretty good. And I actually quite like it for I'm not usually a fan of the shorter training objects because they don't have the same sort of balance and feel as a shinai, but I think this one does a pretty good job, so that's what I'd recommend overall. If you want a household item, don't know really, you could like cut down a broom handle or something. I guess. Yeah, but I'd really recommend that, honestly. I would. Next one. Is it possible that Kendo is helpful in self-defense, directly or indirectly, actually metaphorically, etc.? Well, that's a good question, isn't it? I think, obviously, from a direct or actual or a practical point of view, unless you end up in a fight in like a pool hall or something like that, then probably it's not going to help you out that much. But, you know, there are conceptual things about Kendo that I think, I'm not sure how much they would help you once you've got into a situation where it's escalated to the point where you need to physically defend yourself. I know, you know, we engage in training that's like physical, so obviously you'd be physically fit, hopefully. And we engage in combat with each other, but so I guess there's some argument to say it might help in terms of your sort of approach to combat itself, like with reflexes and stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't like to find out. But you might find that, you know, sort of through practicing Kendo, you behave differently to how you might not. You know, people that weren't really confident in themselves might become more confident, might sort of walk a little bit taller, and sort of exude a little bit more self-confidence than they may have if they hadn't done Kendo, and that might lead to them experiencing less situations where they're the target of physical situations. I don't know though. I don't have much more for you than that. But in terms of it, yeah, I mean, you're not going to use the moves of Kendo, are you? In a street fight, I hope. But yeah, I guess in an indirect way, there's probably lots of ways that it could benefit you, not just in self-defense, but in all aspects of life. Hi Andy, is there a way to clean white cotton Hakama from its indigo stains without ruining the fabric? It's not really easy. The first thing you have to do is get it in the wash as soon as you can after you finish practice. That'll help. Don't leave it in the bag like all night and not wash it till the next day. There's like whitening detergents and stuff you can use. I mean, you could probably go as far as using bleach, but you'd have to be a little bit careful, you know. Probably dilute it. There's probably other products that you can use for sort of whitening, you know, stain removal, stuff for getting like wine out of carpets and stuff like that. That probably would help. There's a popular product in the UK. I'm not going to name drop it, but when you apply it to stains, it makes them vanish. Stuff like that might help. So yeah. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, I don't have massive amounts of experience wearing a white Hakama, so I don't even have one. So my daughter used to have a white Hakama when she was small, but we didn't really bother with the blue stains on it that much anyway, because in any case, once you put your bogo on, they're covered up again. So it's not something we've ever really been that worried about. So yeah. Next one, 2 thumbs up for putting a wishlist button on the KendoStar website. Oh yeah, so this isn't a question, it's a statement, but thank you. A couple of weeks ago, I was asked if we could have a wishlist feature on the KendoStar website. It's there now. You'll see on the product pages, there's a little thing to add to wishlist. So there you go. Hello Andy, before I ask my question, I just wanted to let you know I just purchased the Victory set with the dark brown stitching. I can't wait to see it in person. You're gonna absolutely love it. I've got the dark brown one and I think it looks lovely. It's just so nice. The Victory is just a great boga, but I particularly like the dark brown. The Tetsucon, the black, yeah, they're nice too. They are. But the dark brown is just, for me, it's just the one to go for. And yeah, good choice. You're gonna love it. You're gonna absolutely love it. All right. With many kendoka practicing from home, are there any non-suburi home exercises you can recommend that complement a kendo-centric physique? Okay. So, yes. One is, I know you said not like non-suburi exercise, but if you go and watch the video that I did of the live kendo Zoom practice that I did, I've got it up on YouTube. And the first exercise I think it is that I have us do is like wrist raises with the shinai. And I've put a short video up on Facebook and stuff, but basically where you hold the shinai just in your left hand and you go from gedan up to chudan using your wrist, gedan to chudan using your wrist. And it's basically designed to just strengthen your wrist muscles. So I know it's sort of suburi related, but at the same time it's not suburi. So that's one thing. Otherwise, if you've got like a dumbbell, then wrist curls, where you kind of hold it and just curl with your wrist, anything that will strengthen your wrist muscles, and also holding them and doing calf raises, so standing up on your tippy toes, to strengthen your calves. They're the two best exercises, I would say, if I was to name two, that'll help you with things that you definitely need to strengthen in kendo. You need nice strong wrists and you need nice strong calves. So I think those two will definitely help. Make sure you stretch your hamstrings and your calves as well, plenty though. Stretching's good. Something I don't do enough. I've got really like tight hamstrings, and yeah, I'm not super flexible, and I've injured myself a lot because of that, because my body couldn't keep up with what I was trying to put it through. Next one, I'm left-handed. Every hammer, wrench, saw, chopsticks and pen has been used in my left hand my whole life. Now I'm struggling to get the feel of holding a shoto in my right hand and developing good tenouchi deflection for kata. Feels so unnatural. Any tips for developing the right hand for this? Should I do suburi with it? I don't think you need to do suburi with it, to be honest. I mean, I don't think it's something you need to worry about too much, if I'm honest. It's not like I mean, it's not a major part of your kendo at the end of the day. I mean, yeah, of course you should do it right, but I don't think you need to fret over whether you've got perfect tenouchi for your Kotachi no kata. I don't think it's anything to do with you being left-handed, if I'm honest. But that's you know, I've talked about that before as well. I don't think it's easier or harder for left-handed and right-handed people. I know plenty of left-handed people that do kendo and, you know, have the same sort of struggles. So yeah, it's just practice otherwise, to be honest. It's just, you're just gonna have to practice it. And you know, I guess if you wanted to equate it to, it'd be the same as me doing it with my left hand instead of my right hand, as I'm right-handed. But you know, the concept's the same. So I don't think suburi's gonna do it, especially not with a shoto that you're gonna use for kata, especially as your cutting technique and tenouchi with the shoto is different to how it is with a daito, and it's also different again to how it is with the shinai. So yeah, I probably just wouldn't give it that much thought, and just repetition, just practice. I can't think of a way suburi's going to help you, but actually suburi with the shinai would help. Again, if you go and watch the video I did with of the live keiko, if you go and watch that, one of the exercises we did in that is holding the shinai in both hands and twisting around this way. That'll help you with it, no doubt about it, because it'll give you more flexibility in your right hand and your wrist, and that's what you need for that kata. Pam, 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 this way. Yeah. So yeah, that kind of suburi would help, I think. Next one. After watching many rants with lots more to go, now after joining the early access, being able to read the same. Thank you, Andy, for not giving up on the rant videos years ago. Oh, thank you. While there are still some basic questions asked from time to time, there are many good new questions that come out because the apprehension is not there face to face. Bravo. Oh, thank you. Also, there's another step. I thought it was a question, but thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I'm really glad I kept up the Kendo rant, and that we didn't sort of let it fall off. I guess it's been like 2 years since I started doing Kendo rant now, which is pretty awesome. I started it doing. I originally was doing it every day when I first started it, you know, that was cool, but like we kind of ran out of content quickly. But you know, I am doing my best to keep up the sort of interesting content. So on that note, actually, you know, I mean, I've got no plans for Kendo Rant to change. That will be carrying on a weekly basis. I really love it. It's a great way for me to interact with the community. I really appreciate that everyone gets involved with Kendo Rant, sends me these great questions, and we get to have this kind of interaction, even though it's not direct, it's sort of through the internet, but still it's super awesome. So thank you everyone for joining me for it. But other things that I've got coming up, I've got another instructional video. I don't know when I'm next going to be able to do another online Zoom Keiko. The one we did the other day was, what was it? Not last week, the week before? Oh, it was last week. It was last Tuesday. That was super successful. There was like 80 people in it or something, which is fantastic. So yeah, I'll do another one soon, but I'm not sure exactly when. So in the meantime, though, I'll bring you some another instructional video. All right, and then as soon as the UK is sort of a little bit more relaxed in its lockdown rules and what have you, I'll try and get some more filmed as well. But I'll try and do like an analysis type video or translation video as well as in the near future too. So I will keep bringing this content to you, okay? Because that's what I do. Next one. If the shinai is supposed to be the representation of the katana in order to facilitate a safer version of combat, why is the scar of the shinai evolved to be much longer than that of nearly all katana? Okay. Here's an answer that's probably controversial when it shouldn't be. The shinai is not a representation of the katana in order to facilitate a safer version of combat. Yeah, said it. Right, okay. This book. Dun, dun, dun. One of the best Kendo books in the world. You can get it at KendoStar. It's the All Japan Kendo Federation official guide for Kendo instruction. All right, I've done a video on this before, this specific topic, because one of my favorite and one of the passages in this that I read and I was like, whoa, talks about this. All right, and it's on page, it's on a page without a number. All right, but it's part of the forward. It's on like the 4th page in, I think, before they start numbering the pages. So yeah, it's before they start numbering the pages. But there's a forward from Yoshimitsu Takeyasu Sensei, who's the previous president of the All Japan Kendo Federation. And in the last section, it's called Kendo as a Manifestation of Japanese Culture. And I'll read you the last paragraph, right? Let's talk about the last paragraph. My voice will let me. With regards to the relationship between the Nihonto, that's the katana, okay? Nihonto is the Japanese sword. Nihonto and the shinai. The latter was created for the purpose of studying the principles and ideals for using the sword. All right, so that's the bit you say there, yeah, about facilitating a safer version of combat instead of using a sword. This was possible, as I've already mentioned, through the combination of the shinai and bogu used to facilitate full contact training. After the Nihonto's role as a battlefield weapon diminished, it became a symbol of the warrior's authority and for self-defense. Thus, with the social changes in the modern era, Kendo deviated somewhat from the original Nihonto usage and forged a new denotation in society. Put another way, the method in which we use the shinai in modern Kendo represents a redirection of the Nihonto. If the two implements are compared, the artistic value of the Nihonto far exceeds that of the Shinai, which obviously, right? But the Shinai plays a principal role within the greater system of Kendo. It is akin to the student passing the master in terms of its meaning in the modern society. Although it's probably not appropriate to compare the two, it is not necessary to suppose that we are using the Shinai in place of the Nihonto in Kendo, but it should be treated with the same respect and in accordance with the same ideals. Okay? That, when I first read that paragraph, like, it was like, wow. Okay. So, it says right here, yeah? Let's repeat that line, okay? Although it's probably not appropriate to compare the two, it is not necessary to suppose that we are using the Shinai in place of the Nihonto in Kendo, but it should be treated with the same respect and in accordance with the same ideas. So the two things there, the Shinai is not supposed to be a direct representation of a katana, okay? We don't even use it in the same way. You wouldn't use the katana in the same way as you would use a Shinai. It's different. The way we have a bokuto, which is a direct representation, and the bokuto is we do use that slightly differently. The Tenouchi you use in kata is different to the Tenouchi used in with Shinai, for example. So that's why. And part of it's for practicality reasons in terms of why it's so different. You know, part of it's practicality reasons. The kote are massive and bulky, and it's a lot harder to hold a bokuto when you're wearing kote. And you know, the length of the Shinai was set years ago, but that's nothing like the length of a katana either, but it's for the same reason. So although we retain many of the principles of the Japanese sword, the Shinai is not supposed to be a direct replacement for it, okay? And what I particularly appreciate about that particular paragraph, now this is a little bit of a tangent, but we've only got one more question to go, so what I particularly appreciate about that paragraph is where it says how it's like the student surpassing the master. So the Japanese sword, a katana, is of course a much more artistic and a much more intrinsically valuable thing than a Shinai, yeah? But the Shinai is what allows us to participate in full contact keiko and overcome and strive through the hardships of keiko and therefore pursue the betterment of oneself. And the katana doesn't allow us to do that in the same way. So in that respect, that's what Takeyasu Sensei means, I think, is that the Shinai has accomplished something that the katana, which is from which it has in some ways derived, could not. So there you go. Last one. All right, last one. Hey Andrew Craigie, I'm getting my Sunday name here. I was looking at some Kendo terminology the other day, and I noticed there's something called Shinzen Nirei. Is there any application to use this command in the West, or is it strictly only used in Japan? Okay, so Shinzen Nirei is something that's sometimes used instead of like Shomen Nirei or Kamiza Nirei or what are the other ones? It depends. Usually you would only use Shinzen Nirei if there's an actual physical shrine in the dojo. Okay? You would probably only use it then. If you don't have a physical shrine in the dojo, then probably Shomen Nirei is better. Yeah. I think that probably Shomen Nirei is the best one if you don't have the what do you call it? Shomen. You can say kamiza as well, actually. But yeah, that means a higher seat, I think. It's a while since I've seen that. An interesting one is, so yeah, in most cases you're not gonna have it means to shinzen is before God, so it means to bow before God. So it's probably best not to use that one if you're not like I say, like if you don't have an actual shrine that's been ordained by a monk. An interesting one is a dojo I used to practice at was located inside a Buddhist temple. The grounds of a Buddhist temple. There was a temple, and inside the grounds there was dojo. And there was a statue of Buddha at next to the little kamidana, the little shrine in the dojo. And they used to say "Gobutsudan nide," which means to bow to Buddha instead of the other ones. So, but yeah, I don't think there's many chances you would use shinzen nide appropriately. That's it. Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed. I said it was going to be a short one, but it turned out to be the same sort of length as always, because I do like to have my little chat with you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, join the early access group, and shop at KendoStar. I'll see you all next time. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.